TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You wrestled Flair once, right? You guys did an angle, I think, on Mid-Atlantic where you guys ripped each other's suits off.
Yeah, just a very, very short little thing. I mean, it really wasn't much.
Are you disappointed you never had a program with them? Do you think
No.
you didn't?
No.
No.
See, to wrestle the world champion at that time, you weren't ever going to win. So it could do nothing but hurt you.
Right.
So keep me away from that stuff.
Right.
You know, I mean.
What's he like as a person, Rick?
Flair?
Yeah.
Just about what you'd think he'd be. See, that's one thing that is so. You're just actors. No, you're not actors. If we were acting, the people that are good, you would know it. It would come through. The successful ones are an extension of their own personality, their own selves, and they have the ability to magnify it because of television and because of the arena and the stage. But it's their natural persona. I had a natural. My dad told me when I was growing up. He said, "People either love you or hate you. There is no in between." And my natural, whether it's a look or a glance or whatever, was that of a cocky, conceited, arrogant type person. All of those attributes are not warm and fuzzy and mom's apple pie and good old boy, and that's why I was never a good baby. Nick Bockwinkel was the same thing. Nick Bockwinkel's career never blossomed until he became a heel.
Sure. Was there ever any problems behind the scenes with you, Flair, Arn, and Ole, as far as all going on and doing promos at the same time, egos clashing or anything like that? No, it was all.
Ole wasn't there long enough.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't egos clashing. I mean, there weren't. When you know how it's done and you know what's happening, you know, people that have egos, there's a time for an ego and there's time not for an ego. Okay? And I knew how the business was run and how it was, and I couldn't whip anybody, and it didn't make any difference if I could.
Right.
But most of the people in there couldn't whip anybody either. You know? And the toughest guy in the card was usually the guy on the second match. And so, you know, I mean, I knew I wasn't beating anybody. So my dad taught me when I was young in this business. This is show business.
Right.
And that's what I went out. It was very hard show business, but it was show business anyway.
Getting back to Horseman days, what led? First question is, what Horseman group did you like working with the best?
Oh, it didn't make any difference.
Right.
The Horsemen really were Rick and Arn and myself, and,
right.
and the other one didn't really make any difference as long as the core was there.
Okay.
And you know, that's. I mean, we were a Horseman group for a while when it was just Rick and Arn and myself and JJ.
Right.
I remember that. I don't remember.
Do you still, I guess, I don't know, talk to any of the Horsemen or Dusty or anybody from Crockett back then?
When I run into him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, I work out at one of Flair's gyms, and I run into him occasionally. His wife, his daughter just got married. Yeah, and I saw Arn and Rick and Ole and JJ all in New Jersey on August the 29th. At the first time in 13 years that all four of us have been in the same place at the same time, autograph signing thing. So, you know, we spent, of course, you didn't get a lot of chat time, but Flair and I flew back on the plane together and talked. And saw the guys. And Arn's still having to travel a lot. So I'd never been to church. I wasn't raised to where you would call on a spiritual God or spiritual solution to your problem. I'd always taught to just put your nose, work harder, overcome, fight, don't give up, that type of mentality. And right when I said, Jesus, take over my life, there was a calmness and a peace that came in that I felt that I'd never felt in my life. Never, ever. And didn't understand it, didn't know what had happened to me. And this voice told me that your life is going to be okay. And I relaxed and I fell asleep. And I woke up the next day and looked at my girlfriend that was with me. And I said, I need you to go home. Took her to the airport and sent her off. Never really expected to see her again. Now I'm married to her. And we had 4 beautiful children. But God, that first few days was just unbelievable. And I really had not a clue what had happened to me. And my dad called me on Wednesday, I think. And he said, what's going on? He said, you don't sound the same. I said, what do you mean don't sound the same? He said, well, you're not cussing.
Huh.
I couldn't get 3 words out of my mouth without an F this or an MF that or a this or a GD something. You know, it was embarrassing. Cussing is nothing more than laziness. Because you're too lazy to think up something to say. So when you cuss, you use one word that has 43 definitions. It's just, it's an adjective, an adverb.
That's true.
And I was the worst. So I was, so I started seeing these changes in me and feeling a little different. And started reading a Bible, and 6 weeks later started going to a church. I was too embarrassed to go to a church because I wouldn't know what to say to somebody. If somebody recognized me, we were so recognized.
Right.
You know, what's going to happen if I walk into a church? You know, and so I can tell you, and I've told this to many inmates, I needed a change in my life because I didn't know how to change. I can remember sitting in the garden in August defending against demolition, sitting in the dressing room when it's over with, and the only thing I thought about doing was getting out of there and getting drunk, because the only happiness that I had in life was when I was high. And it wasn't happiness, but it was the only time all day long that I was out of pain. And so you went from relief to relief to relief, day after day after day, and I needed a change, and I thought my change was going to be make more money and change companies and get away from WWF and get back to a group of people that liked us and wanted us, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.